Well, it's that time. It's that time. A lot of times we have times when we want to tell our own story. We have someone very capable of telling their story. But this particular program, that what we're doing, we're allowing you, the individuals, to tell your story to the public. All of us has processed through something, and it needs to be said. But tonight, I'm introducing one of the greatest women on earth. Her name is LaShawna D. Alfred. She is the CEO of You Change LLC. If you can just rise out of disrespect, clap your hands, and welcome LaShawna Alfred.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone. You can have a seat. Okay, so I want to, first of all, thank you guys for coming and help you understand why I did this. So, Stories of Heroes is designed to showcase the strength, the determination, and the perseverance of individuals who have faced life difficulties. And so, my very first guest, her name is LaQuale Hopings, and we're just going to have a candid conversation. You know, we gave you pen and pad, so if at any time you have questions, we want you to write it down, so at the end, you'll remember it, and you'll be able to answer the questions, okay? All right, so without further ado, I would like to welcome LaQuale to the stage. Give her a hand. Hey, how are you? Yes. Have a seat. Have a seat. So we're just going to just have a conversation and just talk about life issues. So we're going to talk about, what being a hero means to us. We're going to talk about, so just nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. So we're just going to have a conversation. So LaQuale, I remember you when you were a teenager. And looking at you now, I'm like, okay. But I know.
It was a long time.
Yes.
I was back at Granny Blackman's.
Right.
Built my store, Granny.
Absolutely. You was a teenager, I think you was getting ready to have a baby?
Mm-hmm. I was pregnant with my oldest.
Okay.
She'll be 21 on the 30th of this month.
Okay. And how many children do you have now?
4.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I chose you as a hero because I know that you have experienced, some great trials, some tragedies, and yet you're still persevering, And so I want you to just talk to us about, where you come from, share with the audience, who you are, and we'll just flow.
Well, I am a 39-year-old mother of four beautiful children. I'll be a grandmother soon, but I'm also a widower too. My husband was he was murdered in 2016 and in front of 3 of our children. 3 months later, my husband's nephew murdered my oldest daughter's father. It was a big it was just a big change for 2016 probably was like the roughest year. I get teary eyed when I talk about it. It's just natural.
Absolutely.
But it's probably the year that broke me and made me.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a year I had to grow up.
Okay.
I had to grow real fast.
Yeah.
Because, my husband was our sole provider.
Okay.
And a lot of us, you think you're going to have somebody forever.
Yeah.
And it's not that.
Absolutely. And so here you are sitting and sharing that story. How difficult is it for you, really to just be able to say, look, I depended on someone, thought they would be here forever, and here I am.
It's a curse and a blessing at the same time.
Okay.
Because he was probably the best part of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was, how can I say it? He was many things. He was like my mother, my father, my best friend, my coach. He played a lot of roles that I didn't know he was playing until after he was gone.
Okay.
You know, it was kind of like, well, he's here, like, he's supposed to do this. This is what, you know, how you don't realize how lucky you are.
Right.
The grass isn't always greener.
Yeah. You
You don't appreciate what you have until it's gone.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
like
Did
that.
you go through any counseling or anything like that?
I tried it. Only, you know, because everybody was recommending it, but, you know, in Black communities, counseling is so taboo that it's like, it's shown upon, like, you know, people talk about, oh, they going to counseling. Not realizing that the best thing to do is talk to somebody that isn't mutual or who doesn't know, who's not going to judge. They're just going to judge from listening to you and their personal experience or the advice that they have. You know, sometimes it's better to go and talk to someone that you may know but don't know like that, or
Right.
you don't know at all.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, when in the inside, when you have people on the inside, they're based or biased off how they are connected to you or that person.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? I learned that too after my husband left. Like, he was the root that held our families together. You know, because after he left, you know, for the funeral, everybody is there. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, a week later, no one is there. You know what I'm saying? And then you left to figure it out.
Right.
Once you here, you here. Once you gone, you gone.
Right.
No coming
And
back.
And I know we talked earlier about, you know, what did this do for you when you said it was a blessing and a curse? Like, you know, what did you find? Like, where did you get the strength to continue to be a mother? You know,
God. You know what I'm saying? Like, He'll put you in a situation so you have to know who He is. You know what I'm saying? Because you went around His life and you just like, okay, I'm supposed to wake up. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to have this life. I'm supposed to be healthy. I'm supposed to have this job. I'm supposed to have this person. I'm supposed to have this dream life. And you don't really, we start idolizing the world and forgetting about the Creator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to get humble. You know what I'm saying? I had to get down and really like, okay, I need you.
absolutely.
I'm here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
what are you doing now? What type of things are you doing?
I just keep myself busy because, you know, like, grief is just another form of love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know,
Help us understand. What do you mean grief is another form of love?
because I still love him. Like, he was here. I just have to learn to love him from the spirit form of life, or, you know, what we had before. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
you learn to get up every day and not see the person no more and not be able to call them. You might hear a song and make you think. You might see you know, it's however you have to deal with it.
Right.
Because you're never going to forget that person.
Right.
I mean, whoever it is, you won't forget. And, you know, we have children, so we are connected, you know what I'm saying? And then we had a lot of years together. We were together 11 years, but only married 7 months at the time he was murdered.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So now you said that. So now, your children's dads are gone.
Both.
How was that? You know, how did you have to explain to your oldest daughter that her siblings, family, how did that go? How did you have to talk to them about it, or did you talk to them about that whole dynamic?
My kids are such good kids, and like, the thing about my daughter's family, the Blackmans, we're still close. Like, when my husband was murdered, like my husband and my daughter's father, they had a mutual respect for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no bad blood. My child's father just went through a point in time to where he had to grow up, and in that period I had already grew up, and I was able to find, you know, a man that became a bonus father for my daughter. And I think my child's father, he respected that. You have to respect someone that could come in and then provide for your child through anything you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a village. And you know what I'm saying? So they had that mutual respect for each other. And then the Blackmans just always loved me and I always loved them. So, you know, I think they hurt for Taylor because they knew that her and my husband was very close. And then, you know, they reached out to me they still do. You know what I'm saying? They still ask, you know, because it's just, I'm not going to say my in-laws, I'm just one of those people. I'm a real honest person, and I'm not going to change how I feel, you know, despite if it's going to fit my situation. So some people do things and can't admit they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's hard for me to accept that, you know, they still put a finger out there, like they didn't put a blame on it, because, you know, it didn't just impact my kids. He had other kids too. Right. You know what I'm saying? And all the kids are close, they get along, but it kind of put that divide between the families, because it's like, but my daughter handled it well. You know what I'm saying? She's not mad at the assailant, the accused killer, the person that was, you know, sentenced for murdering her father, because at the end of the day, it's not going to bring her dad's back. You know what I'm saying? And the young man that did it, he lost his life too. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's more so the adults. You know, we don't realize the role we play in our kids' lives. Right. You know, you can tell your kids can react off emotion and sit around listening to you. They might want to take things in their own hand. Right. You know, let's think they're doing something, and two wrongs don't make it right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, despite I want my husband back, I don't want nobody to try to go and avenge his death. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just...
Absolutely. What would you say, because I encounter a lot of individuals who may have lost loved ones, whether it's a son, a daughter, you know, a spouse. What would you say to that person as it relates to getting up and moving, you know, living?
I just look at it like, you're going to go through that moment because you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to figure that out, and you got to decide whether you're going to live or you're going to, you know, be a victim. Because, you know, I just look at it like, you know, I need to finish what my husband can't do. Okay. Because he wouldn't want this, you know what I'm saying? Right. And Gene wouldn't want that neither. Right. So, like anybody, if you lose something or you have lost, whether it's a child, a husband, a wife, a kid, you got to live for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a chance to do it again. So every day you wake up, it's a blessing. Right. Because you get the chance to do what they can't do. Right. You know, my husband can't see his kids, so it's a joy for me. Yeah. You know, to see him and be here. Absolutely. And I think the community, because here it is so close, you're a perfect picture of the impact that black on black crime is having in our community. And so here it is where you have two kids who, or two sets, you know, of children who lost their dad, and it's so close. And just how, if we can get out there, the impact that, you know, our youth are doing to the other families. Because even though they may have killed that person, they leave, you know, a hole in the lives of children, you know, parents and, you know, friends and, you know, other family members. And here it is. And this is why I considered you a hero. You know, and I'm not saying that you're all there. Like, heroes don't mean that. We talked about, I'm not, you know, a hero without a cape. All heroes don't. It's a struggle. Yeah. I'm still struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a process. It's still a process because, you know, for 11 years, I didn't have to figure nothing out. You know what I'm saying? He was my go-to guy. If I had a problem, he was fixing it. I never got told no. You know what I'm saying? So it was just one of those, I didn't appreciate him because I haven't met nobody like him. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you learn to adjust. I'm still trying to figure it out. I consider myself strong because I could have done a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Despite the situation. Right. But I think we're all our heroes. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a story. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you done persevered through it, because a lot of times people don't. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear it all the time. People say, "Oh, I don't know how you done it, but it wasn't me." Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't know you can do it until you be put in that situation. Right.
Now, someone may say, you know, was she ready to tell this story? How does telling a story help you feel? You know, even now, here it is, you're sharing your story with, you know, an audience, and we don't know the countless people that may view this, you know, this interaction. How do you feel? Like, how does it help you to get an opportunity to share your story with the world?
It feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know how to explain it. It'd be like I'm one of the people that like I'm really not ashamed of anything I've been through. I love talking to people. I feel like that's my outlet. Like once, I'm talking to someone, they feel like, she's easy to talk to, or you know what I'm saying? Like her spirit is easygoing. And once they hear the story, they just look at me like, wow.
Yeah.
Because all the time, like I'm smiling, or, if you don't know me, you don't know what I've been through. I hear that at work like, oh my God, I heard what happened. Like you come here, you're smiling all the time, or you're just busy, you're just going with life. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, it's a good way for me to do God's work. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we are here for, to do his work.
Right.
So people see like, okay, well, Quayle can do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She been through that. Or anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And as a licensed therapist, one of the things I realize is that being able to talk it out, sometimes you just need somebody to listen, because even when you said that during the funeral and everything, the phone kept ringing. And then a week later, you trying to figure out, okay, well, where are all those people? And so that's one of the things I need individuals to know, because I had to do a screening process. Like, I know I wouldn't even have you on the stage if we didn't talk.
Right.
So I had to really talk to you to make sure that you were ready.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, individuals that sit in that seat, I feel like their life is in my hands at that particular point, and people don't understand that. But I trust the process, because I know when you recognize that, wait, hold on, I know it's happening to me. I may not be the first, and I definitely won't be the last.
Right.
But how can I tell my story to encourage, somebody else? But you're doing some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, I am. I work at Chrysler. I've been there for the 5 years, but I cook on the side. I love to cook. I just love to entertain people or make them happy. I know that I make people happy through my food, so I cook on the side, but I do it too because, you know what I'm saying, I have 4 kids. At the end of the day, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? And one source of income is not enough. You know what I'm saying? It takes 2, and sometimes a 2 household income is not enough. Especially if you're not disciplined, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like people live for today and not for the future. So I have to do what I have to do.
Okay.
As long as I'm not hurting anyone or selling my soul, or I'm doing stuff that makes people happy, and hopefully it can lead me to, my own kitchen one day or restaurant.
Right. Now you said something about, identifying or understanding your purpose now. Like, this happened, maybe, God had a plan, a different plan for you. Have you been like really focused on that as it relates to God's plan for you?
I think I could focus a little more because I'm so busy. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I probably could reach out more, get to talking to people. I kind of close myself. Not really that I close myself off. I think it's just the path that God put me on kind of just required me to be by myself for a minute.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like I had to separate myself, because sometimes the journey you're going to go through is one you have to go through by yourself. And then it showed you like, okay, who's still there when I look back? You know what I'm saying? Because, you'll be put on the path, and then people are like, oh, well, she not doing this no more. She not living, or he not living like this. Or, you know what I'm saying? I think if you become busy or you start focusing on yourself, you're not trying to be better than anybody, but they just have this persona or this like, people don't realize that sometimes separation is what we all need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people don't really elevate unless it's time to separate.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah. And one of the things I realize is that trouble will show you who on your side.
oh yeah.
I mean, literally, trouble will show you who on your side.
Yes.
And sometimes, we have to go through trials. I know in my own life, I realized I had to go through things before God elevated me, to get people, leeches. Y'all know about leeches? To get leeches off of me, and a lot of times we may not understand it because we're so used to, even if it's fake friends, we're used to having friends.
Yes.
And so sometimes it is, he will separate you. But one of the things, even as we get busy, and I want to encourage you too, even the thought of counseling. Because sometimes, and that's one of the things I'm always working with individuals on, we go through, right? But we want to go through healed. We want to go through and come out whole. And we don't, because sometimes we can just go through and we can get busy, right?
Right.
And then soon as the remembrance of something come up, we can, that mask going to come off, and that sore space, that wound, if you will come out, is shown. And we end up not having healthy relationships because we jumped in a relationship before we actually healed through whatever situation that, we find ourselves in. And so I do want to encourage you, and anybody else that's listening that may have experience to link up with a counselor, to just make sure you're whole, because we can get busy. We can get busy and we can do everything, and so we're taking attention off of us. We're thinking about everybody else, but yet we're still wounded. What do you think about the idea of, that whole counseling piece,
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Just for me and my children too, though. Like maybe separate counseling and family counseling, because I'm quite sure they probably got things that they would like to say that they can't, maybe feel comfortable around me saying.
Yeah.
But then things that we need to work on as a family too.
Yeah. Because I definitely, I give you so much, props. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I take my hat off to
too.
you, because you are so brave to sit here, to share your story, and I know it's still fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's still fresh, and you still have babies that you have to try to explain this thing to. And one of the things I know is that when we go through things, even as a child, if we bury it, life has a way of bringing that thing up. Because I went through life so angry when my mom and dad was murdered. I was angry, and society expected sweet water to come from a bitter well. And I didn't understand, how did you expect me to do anything other than what I've done?
Right.
Nobody took the time to listen to me. They just looked at my behavior and punish me instead of sitting me down to talk to me. And so I definitely encourage you to, get your kids in counseling, having that family counseling, because you're so dynamic, and the gifting that you have, and just the fact that people are drawn to you, your personality. But another thing is they're drawn to you, and they may leave you happy. They may leave you yes, she encouraged me, but then you turn around and go home and you can't hardly sleep. Or your pillow is wet. I know those days.
That's the life, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think, that's part of being an empath. You know what I'm saying? We take on everybody else's energy, you know what I'm saying? And what they're going through is draining.
Yeah.
But, the Messiah was the greatest empath.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we have to finish the work, too. So, I like it, though. I like when I can make people happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or people you know what I'm saying? You just brighten up my day. Or give me a hug. You know what I'm saying? That make me feel good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share, for the people that may be watching to know about? What do you want people to know about LaQuale?
I'm just as human as everybody else, We are going to experience trials and a tribulation and grief, you know what I'm saying? Because we were born, to die. But I think that I'm a better person today than I was, even 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that I'm just living my life now for him and for my kids.
Okay. What are you basing that on? A better person today?
Because, I was younger and I wasn't as wise as I was, so I just kind of lived a carefree life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Things that, used to excite me don't really excite me. You know what I'm saying? It's just thankful to wake up to see another day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then just trying to get it right. So then, say if he did come back, I'll be ready for him. You know what I'm saying? In that sense.
Yeah.
We prioritize, the wrong things and just kind of make amends to old things I need to. I had some relationships I had to work out, especially with my mom and my in-laws. Just get learning. I used to harbor a lot of hate too.
Okay.
But now I just don't. You just realize life is so short and we not promised. And then you can go to sleep and wake up and that person gone, and then you hear it because it happen to people all the time. Oh, I didn't get to say sorry. Because even with my husband, we had got into an argument that night, And I jumped out the car and I looked back at him because something told me to look back, and he was staring at me. And I whispered, "I love you," but I went into work like, okay, it's normal. And then I got all those phone calls, and it was just like, dang, I think about that a lot too. You know, that argument we had, that it was the stupidest argument, but he didn't know that. So I try not to go to bed with like nothing on my chest, or you know what I'm saying, no ill feelings about nothing.
Okay, so let me just make sure I followed you. So you saying that you got dropped off. Y'all was in the car. You got dropped off, and so he got killed that night.
He would come and have lunch with me at work a lot, but then like the last few months of maybe like the last 3 months had got kind of rough. We couldn't really find nobody to watch the kids. Everybody was giving us to run around, so he was like, he was with the kids a lot. And then he couldn't have lunch with me as much as we could. But this particular day, he called me. He was in a good mood because he had been down. And when I think about it, I think he was probably stressed out about whatever was bothering him. He was like, I'm going to come and have lunch with you, me and the kids. I'm like, okay. He came up to the my job with my two middle kids. And we had lunch. But my daughter, she kind of riled us up and we got into an argument. So I'm like, well, just take me back to work. So he dropped me off back at like 10:25, but at like 10:50 he was murdered.
Okay.
Yep. So he had just dropped me off, went to go pick up our little baby. He was walking into the house to open up the door, and somebody came up and shot him.
With the kids outside?
My daughter was walking up the stairs because it was two ways to get up our stairs. You could come up the side of the driveway or you could come up the front porch. He was already up on the porch unlocking one of the doors. And my daughter was walking up with my 3-year-old at the time. When she heard the gunshots, they fell down the stairs. Because she said when she just heard the gunshots, she seen her daddy duck. And when he came back up, the bullet hit him, so he fell. So she ran to go try to get back in the car. And she threw my baby in the car. And then her and my son ran up on the porch. But by that time, you know what I'm saying, he was, fighting for his life. So they got to calling everybody. I get here, Daddy.
How old were
9 and 11. 3, 9, and 11, and 17.
Okay. All right. Definitely encourage counseling for them. Yeah. Definitely. I didn't realize that they were that close.
Yeah.
Do they talk about it now?
In ways I know they angered about.
Okay.
They miss him.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's gonna be that's the part that we don't impact. I mean, we don't realize. It's not about me, because life got to go on for me, but for his children, for both of them. When you lose a parent, that's just something that you lost with. You stuck with for life. There's no getting around that.
Right.
So it's no. He's gonna miss out on everything. Grandkids.
Yeah.
It just. He's gonna miss out on his kids. You know what I'm saying? He's about to have a grandbaby. Both of them.
Yeah.
Birthdays coming up, graduations, marriages. I mean, when they had to get married, they've been robbed. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that I be sad about the most.
Yeah.
The kids.
Definitely.
All the kids though, not just my kids. All the kids involved.
Absolutely. And this is, of course, a tragic, incident. And some people, you hear about it in the news, and you wonder, but you don't have, those details. But you go on with your life, right?
You have to.
And the person, though, the families that have been affected, you still got to live with it. Like, you move on, right? But you still got to live with it. But the community is kind of like, oh, yeah, I remember that incident.
Right.
I remember that,
It's so common that, you remember, then, you hear it's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, after my husband and after Gene, it was somebody else's son, somebody else's kid, somebody else. It's an ongoing thing across the world.
Yeah.
To the point where we become numb. Just like, when the incident happened, people would be so quick to record instead of jumping into action trying to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is just messed up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think about, and the mom who's coming to me now is Trayvon Martin. mother. And one of the things I see that give her strength is the fact that she's going out now talking about, police brutality and allowing her son's legacy, to live on. And a lot of people don't understand that after you experience something tragic like that, you have to begin to see, okay, what can I do to live? Because for me, the way I was thinking about my mom is, if I don't live, I'm allowing the person who murdered my mom to kill me.
That's right.
And so for me, it was like I had to keep living. But if any of our young men that are out there, if they hear your story, I want their hearts to be so convicted. A mother who may have lost a child, I want them to be inspired to say, I gotta live. I gotta move on. Because it's some parents that's not leaving out of their house.
Can't leave out the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yes. The pain is just so
unbearable.
So deep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Look at Big Red. You know what I'm saying? I feel so sorry. Grief happens. People don't. It impacts everybody different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when losing a child. I don't know how it is to lose a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be a traumatic loss.
Right.
So
right.
People don't realize once you take a life, it impacts. It's just a spiraling, and it impacts so many different people that you just don't. People don't think about it because they don't value life.
Mm-hmm.
We don't realize how precious it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until you have to be in that life or death situation.
Right. Right. How would you like to see your life 5 years from now? How would you like to be living, and what would you like to be doing?
I would like to be, just comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that I want to do, like grow spiritually more. You know what I'm saying? Educate myself. Go back to school. Just do things that is going to secure, my kids and myself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe reach out to other. I need to reach out to other women more. You know what I'm saying? To help, because that's the thing. We supposed to be really helping each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like. Yeah. It's okay to say you need help, or it's okay to say you need someone to talk to, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and just, stick with it. People say, we got to start sticking through, being accountable for what we say we're going to do, and checking on each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the part of life. We're supposed to be here, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The village is bigger than just us. It's all of us, So hopefully for 5 years from now, I'll have a restaurant, and, I'm taking it day by day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This will be, something that's going to be with me, but, I'll be getting through it a little better.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I like how you said just, that I look at it as that accountability, especially amongst women. Yes. A lot of times we're so competitive, and we end up being upset. And I did this live talking about like the relay race. And I'm like, okay, if you can't support this person, because it's their turn to be in the chair, then why would you want somebody to come and support you when it's your turn? Like when we're in a relay race, it's like, okay, everybody behind me that's on my team is saying, yes, go. Right. Because the quicker you go, the quicker it's my turn and I can beat my opponent. And our opponents is doubt, low self-esteem. Some people with our last name, right?
Yes, a lot of people with our last name.
Some people we call friends, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Another takeaway I want the audience to take away is really just supporting each other, supporting one another's endeavor, because you don't know what people have gone through. Mm-hmm. Like looking at LaQuale, she's beautiful, and it's like she came like ready, right? but she's transparent, and I appreciate that. But you don't know what someone is going through.
And that's how you gotta go through life too. You could be encountering an angel or just somebody that's going through. You, like you said, we don't know. Everybody has a story, or they will have a story. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know who you're talking to or how you can make their day. But we got to learn, like, we got to quit being for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And except when God blesses you, it's to bless other people too. Right. You know what I'm saying? It don't be the blessing, don't be for you, it be for other people. And sometimes if you don't have that around you, it's okay to separate yourself from that and be like, okay, I'm going where the blessed crowd at.
Right.
I'm going where they uplifting you at. You know what I'm saying? I'm going where they loving on people at. They're not judging you. They taking you in with open arms. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they just encouraging. That's what we need: more encouragement, more uplifting, more togetherness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't say this earlier, but your oldest daughter is her dad was my little cousin.
Was your cousin?
And I mean, it impacted our family, greatly, and his mom is still hasn't recovered, you know what I'm saying, from it, is in the nursing home, and just his aunt, just a lot of,
his sister, his stepdad,
yeah,
that just, like I said, it's another grief. It's just another form of how you love that person. She really loved her child. I mean, most parents do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And no one should have to bury their child. You know what I'm saying? Especially innocent, you know what I'm saying, or just taken by, it wasn't his time. You know what I'm saying? And somebody just, ended his life. And like you said, look at his mom. You know what I'm saying? Look at Granny. Look at Leon. Look at Faith. Look at his children.
Yeah.
They may seem cool on the outside, but
they're
not good.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times, too, we think about, like, the family, but even the impact of close friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A pillar in the community. I had a lot of...
He had a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? And you look at most of the greats, though.
Yeah.
People like, oh, you can't put those names to people, but you can. A lot of the great people have to leave this world. You know what I'm saying? To do their job.
Right.
And Gene was one of those great people too. You know what I'm saying? Despite whatever, he still was a good person. You know what I'm saying? And he still had a lot of respect, and he still, he was. It was funny, not funny, but our last conversation was 3-4 weeks before he died. He was in my aunt's garage because he was with my cousin, and he was just staring at me. And he was like, and we hadn't talked in years because I was just one of those women. Like, I grew up around strong women. They were one of those women that, like, okay, you're not here to take care of my kid? All right, bye. I'm not studying you. I'm not calling you. So I didn't call. And his Big Red was the ultimate grandmother. You know what I'm saying? If I could have 1,000 of her, she was on my team. Like, she just had my back. I had respect for her just because of how she was. But Gene, he was looking at me. He just like, I know you haven't called my phone. You had needed me. He said, but this time, he's like, I know I got other kids, Quail. He like, but I'm about to focus on you and these kids. He said, because y'all need me. He was like, and I ain't gonna rest till I help y'all out. And then 3 weeks later, he was gone. And it was like just so ironic because that was our first conversation we had literally had in about 10 years. Because, I hadn't had to talk to him, because my daughter was at an age to where she could call him.
Right.
And I think about that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that was just his way of saying, for 10 years, I haven't been there, but I'm about to be there now.
Yeah. Wow.
So and then it's like they're buried right by each other. So when I go see my husband, I drive right on down to see Gene because they're very close.
Yeah.
And I think that was good too.
Yeah.
God has a way of doing everything.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
Because I know people don't get to go visit as much, and I don't really now these days. But it feels good that I know that they're that close, and then I can go see them both.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you share with us, last thing, the difference between how you were thinking in the beginning of all this and your thought process now?
Ooh, at first I was just like, I was on that retaliation, like, oh, give me that's, if I have to be honest, like, give me a gun, I'm going, y'all done took my life from me, like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my guy, that was my best friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the roles had been reversed, he wouldn't have been here pretty, and he would have been mad right now.
Right.
You took my wife?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like that, and then I had to just, reality set in, like, what you gonna do? You gonna go do something so then your kids don't have a mama or a father? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, put your big girl panties on because this is a part of life that comes with the streets.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not always a fairy tale.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We be there for the good times, always spending the money, we do it. But when trouble finds a way of hit you, you gotta learn to be like, this is what comes with that life. And sometimes you have to make that choice, like, is this life worth me losing everything? You know what I'm saying? You gotta get off that ride.
Right.
Or decide not to get on it.
Right. Wow.
Because, you know, I'll be wishing, like, I never met him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't ask for this.
Okay. Absolutely.
It's the pain that I don't want to have to deal with.
Right.
But I have to, you know?
And I asked you that question because I really want people to hear the shift, the power of our thinking. You know, when we're thinking that, you know, that retaliation or somebody did something to us, and definitely they did, you know, it's like that anger, that rage, you know. But then when we switch it and say, wait, hold on, you know, wait, and it started with the thought. Because literally you're here today because you changed your thought. Not that you change, not that, you know, you not hurt and you don't feel like somebody took your love away from you. But you literally changed your thought about it. Like, you changed your thought from retaliation, I want to do this, right? To, okay, wait, hold on, wait, what about my kids? You know what I'm saying? What about this? And earlier you said, you know, I'm waking up every day doing what he don't have a chance to do. You know, and I want people to understand, even in changing your mind, how it literally changes your life.
Literally.
You know, changing your mind. I mean, literally. You know, it'll change the anger. You know, it'll change it'll change our course of life.
It will.
You know, the course of the direction in which we, you know, go in. And so I really appreciate, you know, your honesty, your transparency. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I hope that this brought, you know, some sense of relief, because you know that you're helping somebody.
Yeah.
You know you're helping somebody.
That feels good.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So for all the naysayers and those who may not thought you were, you know, ready for this, or thought this was like, okay, wait, you know, I have counselors on standby. I have prayer warriors on standby. You know, I'm like, okay, because I didn't know who was going to be in the audience that have already experienced trauma. I didn't know how it was going to, but all I knew what God called me to do. I knew God said, this is what I want you to do. And I knew you were first. I knew he put you on my heart. And you
reached out to me like, hey, I'm doing this. I was like, okay. But I'm like, nah. And you're like, next month. I'm like, what? Ooh, she didn't play. God be moving fast, don't he? Watch out. Like, when he do stuff, he doing it on his time. Like, okay, the nigga was here. Like, okay, let's work then.
Yes. And this is not like a one-time thing. This is something where we're staying connected. You know, we do, when I talk about women's empowerment stuff, you know, it's just a bunch of women coming together, empowering one another. Because I think a lot of times, if we haven't been exposed to something, we think, hey, it's taboo. Right? We think, okay, we're not going to benefit from it. But you just don't know. And I started there. I started in the street. I know what it's like to be in the street. And so, and I didn't know the things that's going on now in my life. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't even know what was going on, because counseling didn't just start. You know, it was Big Mama back then.
Right.
But there's no Big Mamas now. I ain't seeing no Big Mamas.
No Big Mamas. We need more Big Mamas.
Yes. So in the form of, you know, for us, it's like finding that, you know, person that you feel comfortable with. There's a lot of people who have experienced counseling, but they feel like it didn't work.
Right.
And I'm saying, just like anything else, you know, if the shoe don't fit, don't go barefoot.
Right.
Get some other shoes. Right? You want to get it until you find, because your life depends on it.
It does.
Your life depends on it. You know,
even if you don't feel like, okay, I don't want to talk to a counselor, even like this, you know, somebody can be like, okay, well, I can get that young lady phone number and we can reach out. I don't know her, but, you know, maybe we can talk. That's still a form of counseling. Counseling is, you know, they don't have the credentials behind their name, but you don't have to have credentials to be a shoulder to talk to or a listening ear. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people just be wanting to vent, just to release something, and then they're like, oh, I feel better.
Right.
You know, I talked to somebody that
doesn't know me or
Right.
can't judge me.
Right.
They just gonna be quiet and listen.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And one of the other things too is that when we think about like sadness and depression and all of that, when we as licensed professionals diagnose someone, we have to look at the time and all of that, because if somebody is going through a divorce, right, or if somebody has just lost a loved one, you know, we expect, I mean, being sad and not wanting to get out of the bed and, you know, loss of appetite, all those symptoms, we expect those symptoms to happen, right? But when we look at 5 years down the line and you still loss of appetite, you still can go on, and that's where we say, okay, wait, maybe you do need professional help to be able to come in so we can actually help you see and process through some things. Because although I'm educated and I have the degree, I a lot of times use my experience too, you know, because people need to know that you care. You know, more than just you got the education and think you know.
Right.
You know, they like, okay, do you care
Do you
about
care?
me? Can you listen? And that's really what this forum is about. You know, giving a person an opportunity to share their story. People reached out to me. They want to talk about their business. They want to. I mean, and I'm saying no. This part is free. We're not charging you to tell your story because you already paid the price.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you paid the price to sit in the seat.
Right.
Like you survived some stuff. You literally paid the price. And so it's about highlighting, you know, the good, the bad. It's like, no, I didn't just get here. And so whatever you may be going through, you know, we want you to know that you can continue to persevere and that it will get better. And you can create, you know, how did I say, you can create butterflies from, you know, caterpillars, right?
Okay.
You can create it. Walking on the ground, crawling on the ground when you're going through life issues, and then find yourself now you're soaring because of those same life issues. Because you probably wouldn't even be thinking about life now, the gratitude that it appears you have, if this tragedy wouldn't have happened.
I'd have been going through life just other world, you know. So, like I said, everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Despite I want them back, but you know, it's a lot of things that, you know, I know that set in place too now.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now we want the audience, if you guys have any questions, any comments, we want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions. All right, now is your opportunity. Any comments? What did you guys think about LaQuale sharing her story? What do you guys think? It's okay.
She was brave and strong.
Thank you, sister.
Absolutely.
Sister. Other sister there too.
Yes. What do you-
Kenny.
Oh, yes. See, I told some familiar faces.
I might
right?
see 3 familiar faces.
Three familiar faces in this audience.
Well, that, you know. Oh, 4. See,
Okay.
my boo back there too. But I'm just saying, just when I seen Kenny, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Tanya back there. Hi, I didn't know you was here. That's my lady back there too.
Yeah,
It is
look.
family here. Thank you.
So I can say, I work with
She worked with me.
Well,
so
at Chrysler, and I am the EAP rep there. So when this first happened, I was one of the first people that came to her rescue. And she has grown so much, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Because
you.
she was ready to quit her job, leave town, you know, and I'm like, well, please don't quit your job. You'll get
She
through this.
did. She
Yeah.
did.
So it was hard for her, but I just see so much growth, and I'm so proud.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Tanya.
Absolutely.
She helped me so much. Oh, she did.
When
Yeah.
I seen you on this, I said I have to be there.
Thank you. I
Because,
appreciate
yeah,
you so
A lot
much.
of growth. You know, the kids it was rough for the kids,
It
but I still
was.
wanted to get them into counseling so they can process that, because
Okay.
that's supposed to manage stress.
Cause she helped me with counseling too. She was doing everything. Like, call this number, do this, do this. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's so important.
Thank you. Thank you.
But
Appreciate you
you're
so
doing great,
much.
and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. Who else? Who else have a comment? And even if it's just something you thinking of, you know, that something you maybe have experienced that you want to just share how you got through it.
I've known LaQuale for a long time, watched her grow up too. Knowing that you're 39 and we so close in age, it seemed like that. Growing up, you seem like a kid, and I'm just proud of you.
Thank you. I'm
The
proud of you
very
too.
thing that was meant to break you has made you.
Thank you.
And you're pushing through, you're dealing with it, but you're still living. Still being a mom, still being an adult, still adulting, still trying to make it. You know, keep pushing through.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who else? Yes.
I have to commend you for your strength.
Thank
To be
you.
able to get there and tell your story, and I got a lot out of it. I lost someone, not tragedy, but I lost someone that I love a whole lot. That it was really a lot hard to get through. I could identify when we said when everybody stopped calling. I could identify with that. Everybody was there at the beginning, but after it was all over, they stopped calling. And I depended on this person a whole lot. And when she left, I was just like, what to do now?
What to do now?
How you pay bills?
Yeah.
How you bounce a check? I remember some stuff I was like,
How did you do this?
And so I depended on her a whole lot. And people was like, oh my God, she's gonna do this or she's gonna do that. But I did get counseling. Some places, and I just kept on trying to put one foot in front of the other, getting up. I would just try to just keep going and just, I'd be like in a blur, like, I just kept getting up, just kept trying to put one foot in front of the other, and I just like, dang, had crazy thoughts. You get crazy thoughts when you lose someone you love. How you gonna make it without them? The days were just dark and gloom. I just kept on getting up. I would go in the bathroom and just cry. I would come out the bathroom, I was just getting up, and I had a support system that I would wear out. Like talking about it is wonderful.
It is.
Talk about it.
It brings
talk
peace.
About it.
People don't realize that.
So I just kept going, and it did get a little better. Well, it got a lot better because it's 2019 and this happened in 2000. This happened in 07. Wow. And I just never thought, I just want to just go somewhere in oblivion and take something so I can just sleep or take some medicine so it wouldn't be, so I wouldn't just be so much on the edge. Yeah. And I went to counseling, I went to a therapist, and they suggested this and that, but I was like, because of my situation, I was scared to take medicine.
Me too.
I was saying, I'm scared to take this medicine because I might like it or it might be, you know what I'm saying? So I just kept on going. I just kept on putting one foot in front of the other. And I look back at myself now, I'd be like, dang, how did you do it? You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm 59. Wow. I'm 59 years old, and I just kept going, just kept getting up. I wouldn't even go past where she used to live at. I wouldn't drive past her house. And I lived like 3 blocks from her. I just go all the way around. And then one day I got enough strength to go to her house and knock on the door. And, go in and be able to just go back into where it was and how I was when I was a child and so forth. But, I got past it. So I just, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing too.
And, being strong. We just got to keep going.
Yes, we do.
You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't stop living.
Mm-hmm. We got to live for them. You think about it, but no, you can't do it.
Can't do it.
Nope.
Yeah. No, so thank you.
Thank you too.
Yes. Anybody else?
I got something to say.
Yes.
I'm Claude's sister.
Okay.
And I just want to say, like, she just somebody that I look up to. Like, she been through a lot. Like, a lot.
I love
and
you.
when I say, like, it's going to make me cry. Like,
it's okay, sister.
She has been through so much, and she wake up with a smile on her face every day, no matter what. Like, her kids is everything. Like she said, like, her husband was everything to her. But at the end of the day, like, when you only got yourself, that's all you got is you and your kids. And when I say, I talk to her every day, all day, and she just became a different person after it, like, but bad for the better.
Yeah.
Because of what she went through. Like, I don't wish that luck on nobody. I'm my worst enemy. Right. And she just, I commend her for everything that she do. Like, she do it for her babies.
Yeah.
Love you, sister. That's been my support.
Yeah.
That's my brother, children's mom, but she like my sister too. Like her and Shamir, but like it's like God put people in your life that He know you're gonna need.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't care what we gotta go jump my brother because you my sister, girl.
Right. Wow. How does that feel? Like here you have your sister in the audience.
I got 2. I got. Me and Shamir been rocking for a very because here again is I'm gonna just say this, I have friends that I've had for years that I still love to this day, but when I have to look back, I feel like maybe they're part of the journey that I had to leave back there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Despite it hurts me, but when I see these faces in the audience, that's what matters. They come through and support me no matter what I got going on. So, you know, sometimes we hold on to things that is of no value to us no more.
Right. Oh, wow.
And you have to, you know, look in your corner.
Right.
And those are the people you got to appreciate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead. You had something to say?
I love you.
Yes, yes.
My baby.
Okay, yes, right back there.
I just wanted to add, you touched on like God's timing and just how divine order falls into play in the craziest moments. I came here to do her makeup. And I thought I was going to be in and out, but when I seen you and I thought about what I was going to witness, I'm like, this was meant to happen. Like, I'm going through something myself, but every time I would see Quail at the counter, and I don't go back with her, I'm not her family, but I had a connection with her at the Mac counter.
Yeah.
We're ladies, makeup. Okay, lipstick is a language. Okay, and it grew from there because her spirit is so pure. Like you said, transparent.
Yes.
And it's just you are. I don't want to say you're a walking testimony to people for everything. I mean, people that don't know you, my coworkers, that be like, she's just so beautiful. She's a light, and just people recognize that, and you just are well respected, whether people know your story or not. But to know your story, it just makes it even more.
Absolutely. 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 Yes.
As you say, everyone has a story, but one thing I'd like to know, it was very interesting, by the grace of God, that I had my son. He got shot, he's 19, he's 45, but God's not done with him, and I'm the pictures person in my family. As Kim, this is my blood sister right here. And I'd like to know, did you ever video any family stuff? Video, because, you know, this is what our mom, we put the key in the door, she was dead. And it's been 8 years, and I've been wanting, Kim knows this, I've been wanting to get all of us together at my house and come with our tissues, snot and cry and laugh. But I haven't done it. We lost our baby brother 15 years ago. My big brother, he wasn't ready. So we've lost 2 more siblings, but if I could just get us all to right, Kim, I just want to hear my mother's voice. See my mother. And I'm, 5 girls? I look just like my mom.
Wow.
And I'm the mom, right? I'm the oldest sibling. I always tell them, I'm going to spank you. I always whip you.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. And I just want to know that you videotape. I want to have them. We haven't done it.
That's what if I could tell people to do, I would tell them to take as many pictures as you could and record, because I used to go through life like, I ain't ready to take no pictures, I ain't dressed, don't record me, don't. And then when he left, we didn't have nothing of him. We recorded our wedding video, and it had his voice on it, and someone took the part where, because he spoke to me on the wedding video that we made, and he was just telling me how much he loved me. So they said, they took the part of him saying that and put in the bear, but then I threw the bear away because I didn't want to hear it no more. You know, like, for me, I guess I get to that point, but like, I hide the pictures of them. And like, the kids, I got angry at them because they were playing the wedding video, because it's just like, you know, like 7 months, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, like, we didn't even get to have a honeymoon. Didn't even, and so I just can't get past the part that he's never going to be here again. And it's just hard for me to look at a picture of him. I even have him in my Bible, so he's always with me. I know he's always with me, but like, to see the picture, it disgusts me. It makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I know, like, that's the best way I can explain it. Like, you know, warms my heart at the same time, but it makes me want to throw up. Literally. Every time I see a picture of him, or somebody say, oh, he was this, he was that, it's just like, I still wish I could trade places with him, though. And people are like, oh, you say that, but he was probably one of the only people in this world, besides my children, that I felt like that about. You know what I'm saying? Like, life was so much better or my kids' life would have been much, you know, they need both parents, but had I had to make a choice, I would always choose him. You know what I'm saying? You take these kids. That was so, like, for me, I don't think it's probably gonna take a long time for me to get to, like, listen to his voice or just accept it. And because, like, he was my lifeline, like, for 11 years. I didn't know anything else but him. And then you'd be like, then you never coming back. Like, that's the thing that you don't get. Like, in that year, in 2016, I didn't just lose him. You know, I lost him, then I lost Taylor's father, which was Gene. My stepmother collapsed on the beach. So in May, on Mother's Day, is when my child's father was murdered. But the same day, my stepmother collapsed on the beach. She was brain dead from May to September. 3 months later, her son, which was my brother, he OD'd. All of my brothers went to jail maybe 4 months after that. So these are all her kids. So all of her children are in jail now. So it was like a hit after a hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really have time. Like, my family was just being attacked. Like, it just felt like the devil was just, you know what I'm saying, doing his work. And was trying to win. He was trying to take us out. Like, so you didn't really have time to grieve about this because this happening now, this happening. Like, so you try to deal with all these different things. So I'm just now really sitting down and like, woo, 2016. Like, how did I, you know? And I'm like, okay, that was God, because that was meant to break me. You know what I'm saying? He was hitting me with some blows. So I got up, and then I look at my sister got up. So it was like I was going through things, but I had other people going through them too. And my sister is very strong. Like, she's one of the strongest people I've been through too, especially the witness, because you know she was losing her mom and trying to deal with everything that I'm going through. And to see someone, once I see her love for God, it made me be like, okay. It was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to be loving me and praying over me like that. Once, you know, if my sister, if it come down to it and the devil down here trying to make some deals, get my sister, because she rebuking him. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say some things to him. Call Jasmine, get her down here fast.
I like that.
Yeah, you gotta have one of them in your family.
Absolutely.
They will be scared of them. Like, oh, we ain't touching them. They got that secret weapon.
Right. Wow. And just look at that back to back to back. You know, and sometimes because it comes like that, we get angry. And so now we're operating out of anger too. You know, and so we can't deal with the emotions of grieving. You know. And so here it is, 2019, and you like, okay, wait, hold on, let me sit back. You know, let me look back and say, wait, but I made it. You know,
but I don't want to look back too long. Let me keep going, because he might be around that corner. So let me just keep it moving. Because I don't need nothing else to come my way right now. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes you got to slow down with life too. And take a moment for yourself, because at the end of the day, you can run around and be all these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about my husband. He was so many things for so many people, but he was nothing for himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be all of these things for somebody else, but then what you being for yourself? You know what I'm saying? What good are you doing for yourself? Because when you no longer here, guess what? The people gonna manage without you. They gonna get along just fine. But what you doing to enjoy your life while you living? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what life is about. That was probably my greatest lesson right there. Like, you know, you look around. Don't be worried about what nobody else is doing. What you doing for your life? If you happy, that's all that matter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't care what it is you're doing, as long as you're happy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yes.